The buy low, sell high strategy is as simple as it is effective for making money. It's with this strategy that the man this video is dedicated to managed to achieve the status of the richest man in the US. Sam Walton was the founder of Walmart, that now tops the list of the largest companies in the world by revenue, ahead of Apple, Toyota, Volkswagen, and all oil companies, including Saudi Aramco. Walmart employs more than 2 million people, with the total number of stores pushing 12,000. If Walmart were a country, it would be the 28th largest economy in the world. Its story begins in an ordinary town with a boy selling milk. And as we know, all good things start with small steps. Survival of the fittest. Sam Walton was born in 1918 to a family of farmers in Oklahoma. But not much is known about the childhood of the future king of trade. Walton never liked to reminisce about his early years. His parents used to fight and paid little attention to the boy. Spending time with older kids, he learned to be street smart, and the 2 lessons he was taught were never give up and to use his smile to win people over. Sam was as young as 7 when he started making money by delivering the morning paper and selling milk. He used to play sports, in particular football. Later on, he would recall that it was football that made him a team player and taught him to use the strong points of others to make up for his own weak points. Sam indeed was an active, curious, and tireless kid. Apart from his part-time jobs and sports activities, he did well in school too. After graduation, he attended the University of Missouri, where he studied economics and was seen as one of the brightest students. When he got his degree, Sam worked as a manager in a small retail company. 2 years later, in 1942, he joined the Army, but wasn't sent to war due to his heart condition. Instead, he guarded a gunpowder factory. During his years of service, he met the woman of his life, his future wife, Helen Robson. He lived with her his whole life, and curiously, it was from her father that Sam got his first capital. Sam never hesitated to strike up a conversation with people. As he once said, if he had waited for others to come and talk to him, he would have never built up so many business contracts. First steps. When Sam came back home after his service, the first thing he did was borrow some money from his relatives and take out a loan to open, together with his wife, their first store in Newport, a franchise of the Butler Brothers chain. The store was quite small, even for Newport, with its 4,000 citizens. The town already had one large store. Competing with it seemed like a hopeless idea, but not for Sam. Walton stayed true to his principles: smile and don't give up. The future billionaire was conscious of his competitive edges, so he made it his top priority to focus on customers. He would welcome every client and treat them with unfailing kindness to make them feel at home. He could spend hours chatting with them about the weather, football teams, or their children. Life lesson. His effort was paying off. Within less than a year, Walton's store became the go-to shopping place for most customers. Elated by his success, Sam decided to expand the business and bought an ice cream stand. Long lines of children seemed to motivate the aspiring entrepreneur even more than those he saw in his retail store. 5 years later, Walton's store became the most profitable outlet of the Ben Franklin chain. Unwilling to recognize Sam's unique, enthusiastic approach, the owner of the brand chalked his success up to the good location of the store. So when it was time to renew the franchise contract, Sam was denied, which came as no surprise. The owner wanted to run the profitable outlet on his own. The first Walmart. Sam Walton moved to Bentonville with his family. At that point, he had found his calling in trade and was full of determination to dedicate his life to it. In Bentonville, Sam opened his first store under the name Walton's 5 and 10. It was then that Walton took interest in the strategy of low prices. To implement it, he made every effort to avoid intermediaries and purchased goods directly from manufacturers. Not only that, but he would lower his prices, which decreased revenue compared to his competitors. Sam Walton believed that the strategy would pay off in the long run, and he was right on the money. Later, the store turned into the Walmart Museum, where visitors can now see original goods that the store chain used to sell. Among them, there's an exhibit with a particularly interesting story: an outdoor thermometer that was returned to the store when the customer complained it never had the correct time. Within the next 10 years, as many as 10 new stores were opened, with some located outside Arkansas, in Missouri. Walton dedicated those years to his family and his business. His idea was to combine the home-like atmosphere of small family stores with the larger size of big city supermarkets. This was when Walton came up with the concept of Walmart. Opening a new supermarket in a big city was problematic due to the high cost of land and labor force and intense competition. Walton decided to start with big supermarkets on the outskirts of small towns. Powerful players were not interested in such areas yet, while renting land and hiring people wasn't as expensive. In 1962, the first Walmart store under the name Walton's Five and Dime opened for business on the outskirts of Rogers. The store immediately drew the attention of the locals. Everybody noted it was indeed a big supermarket, the kind you could find in cities, but with lower prices and the warm atmosphere of a small family business. The Waltons hired local people to work in their stores, which further contributed to the image of the company. Over time, there were cases when several generations of the same family worked for Walmart. Thus, Walmart gained the reputation of creating many new jobs. 5 years later, in 1967, Walton had 24 stores with the turnover reaching $12 million. Sam stayed true to his strategy, and it didn't fail him. He kept buying products from manufacturers and wasn't afraid to take chances, confident of his success. Sam always told his employees, "There's only one boss, the customer, and he can fire everybody in the company from the chairman on down, simply by spending his money somewhere else." Later in his memoirs, Sam Walton created 10 rules for building a business. Here are some of them. Share your profits with all your associates and treat them as partners. Communicate everything you possibly can to your partners. Appreciate everything your associates do for the business. Celebrate your success and exceed your customers' expectations. Indeed, Walton paid great attention to his partners, which is how he referred to his employees. He communicated with them as often as he could and demanded the same of the board of directors. "Our best ideas come from clerks and stock boys," Sam would say. Those ideas included free parking and allowing people to take shopping carts to the car. All his life, Walton had a friendly attitude towards everybody, and especially his junior staff. Walmart today. The cause of Sam is still thriving. Today, the empire comprises more than 10,000 stores across the world, with 100,000 different types of products sold every day. The Walmart chain serves more than 100 million shoppers, and its annual revenue is over $500 billion. In the US, a visitor to a Walmart store is welcomed with a genuine smile. The assistant will treat you as a friend and readily tell you the 10 principles introduced by Sam Walton over 50 years ago. Even today, 30 years after Sam's death, Walmart remains a family business, with the management carried out by his descendants. Some journalists will say that Walton's heirs haven't been contributing enough to the family business. But why fix what's not broken? After all, following Sam's policy is the best thing they can do if they're to keep the Walmart company from collapsing to the joy of their competitors. As of 2021, according to Bloomberg, the Waltons are the richest family in the world, with a total fortune of $238 billion. As for Walton's principles, they hold true universally. Appreciate the person, value the smile, never give up, and you're going to make it.